outside.
Tick, tick, boom. Who bringing the noise? Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Separate men from the boys. Tick, tick, boom.
Female oppression has always been and will always be rooted in her sex. My name is Caitlin, and this is Red Moon Radfem.
Boom. Who bringing the noise? Separate men from the boys.
These are women who are living it, who are suffering it, and I will let them speak.
Contrary to popular belief, I am not a right-wing extremist. I am a former lifelong Democrat and now politically homeless liberal. But someone needs to tell the party of women's lib that women and girls are not human shields for male violence. This midterms, I will be writing in a woman who has been fighting this fight long before many of us would. I'm writing in Kara Dansky. While she is not running, I cannot vote for the destruction of my rights. Democrats need to learn that we do not want Title IX recodified to erase our sex-based rights. We do not want our girls groomed, it is grooming, out of their natural protective instinct by calling their boundaries bigotry. Women and girls' boundaries will never be bigotry. We do not want males in female sport, and we do not want men, especially rapists and violent murderers of women, in women's prison. We do not want our children sterilized and mutilated for pharmaceutical profit. I've seen that show before. I watched my brother killed from medicalization, prescribed opioids at 16 following a spinal injury, and dead by 20 from legal prescriptions. I watched my grandfather beg his doctors with fists full of empty pill bottles to stop killing his grandson. I will not be bullied silent while pharma finds a new way to prey on children for profit. Sweden, Finland, France, Norway, the UK, all reversing course to varying degrees, and the US children's lunch money if they don't allow males in female sport or for children to be medicalized. The American medical industrial complex hard at work manipulating parents, emotionally blackmailing them, telling them their child will commit suicide when there is no data to support this. And silencing us with kindness propaganda, liberal be kindness. No, nothing is kind about preying on children and women. I am done with no debate. It is time for a return to pluralism and open debate. That is what it is to be a liberal. Women are 51% of the vote. We will be heard. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm here to support Posey and just women in general, women and girls' rights, their sex-based rights. And I just wanted to come out and speak, even though I didn't prepare a speech at all, because I helped to organize the Virginia event, which I hadn't planned on doing. I just planned to show up and have a very cool artistic sign that I did with lino prints, that I carved linoleum, but I didn't do any of that because I realized everyone's wires were going crazy and there was this big chaos energy and people didn't know who was doing what, and I just said, well, fuck it, I'm going to be the event organizer because I know Natasha Grover.
I've been a big fan of Posey / Kellie-Jay's for many years now. And I've been a parent activist in Loudoun County since 2019.
She knows the parents, was a part of helping organize the protests outside of the school boards here, that the news made these parents out to look like domestic terrorists, which was fucking insane, because it got so bad that they were forcing the parents to line up outside of the school in the cold and letting them in one by one to when they were ready to speak. They had cops there to help intimidate the parents, and it was just really crazy. But the parents who organized did an awesome job. Women spoke, the mother spoke about what was going on, because there was that student, the male student, who was raping, he raped the one female student.
Yeah.
They swept it under the rug. They put him in another school. He did it again. They swept it under the rug. Finally, okay, guys, we're gonna probably get ready. The Daily Wire picked up the story because, as you know, the right are the only people picking up the story of radical feminists. Wild times.
Loudoun County parent Scott Smith says his daughter was sexually assaulted in the girls' bathroom at Stonebridge High School by a boy wearing a skirt. The alleged assault came as the Loudoun County School Board was considering controversial transgender bathroom policies. At a school board meeting over the summer, Smith made headlines when he was arrested during an argument with another parent in an incident that was caught on video and quickly went viral. Smith said he didn't go to the school board meeting in June to express anti-transgender views, but to ask about the school's safety policies after what his daughter endured. That's when he said he was accosted, leading to the arrest.
This has been a crazy 3 months, but basically my daughter was sexually assaulted at the end of school in May of last year. I went there to find out why our children weren't safe. And the next thing I know, another parent activist, approached my wife and started antagonizing her. And I turned around and said stop. And then I tried to tell the lady what had happened to my daughter. And she looked me dead in the face and said, "That's not what happened."
A records request filed by the Daily Wire shows that a report was filed on an offense involving, quote, forced sodomy and sexual battery on the day of the alleged assault, although the school would not confirm that the attack took place, citing privacy.
I think politically it's a really interesting time. I think there will be a lurch to the right. And I think if you're a Republican, that's great. But if you're a Democrat, that's also pretty good midterms rather than general election. And by the time the next sort of proper election comes up, you want the Democrats to have been kicked into some sort of action.
And what are you going to do with your documentary? I know that you've been taping a documentary while you're here, and you've been probably taping it over in the UK as well. Do you have
just here actually? We're just documenting. Quite often for a documentary you need a bit of a narrative, and if we started talking about the global element for women, we couldn't really just cover the UK and the US. We'd have to do Australia, Spain, Germany, etc. So we thought this would be a really good kind of backdrop for the fight that's happening, especially in a country that's supposed to have free speech, right? And so we'll release it for free. That's the idea, because we just want as many people as possible. I don't care. I want people to go in. I want them to record it. I want them to clip it. I want them to share it. I want this has to be a record of the dissent, and hopefully it will be.
What has it been like to be one of the first parent activists in the country?
I don't know that I was the first. Just happened to be in Loudoun County, which is very, very wealthy and has a lot of wealthy, connected people on both sides of the aisle who are, have media connections and can get the word out. Because I suspect there have been parent activists long before me in other places that just didn't have those sorts of connections. So, and just, the platform. And honestly, those parents that I might have seen little school board, videos on YouTube, they helped empower me.
So what would be a message you want to leave women with, or any American or anyone worldwide who's fighting against us or maybe afraid to speak out right now?
I mean, women in Iran are dying right now.
Absolutely.
To sing and dance in the street and have their heads be able to be uncovered. Teenagers that look no different from teenagers here. And they are awesome. I mean, women are jumping on top of cars and swinging around their hijabs like helicopters and just being buck wild. I love it. So anytime that I feel like I'm nobody, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, I understand not everyone can speak out, but it's their job. I gotta take care of my mom. I understand that. But, you get to a point where you just can't keep letting people kick you around, and there's women that are actually dying for their rights.
Say true things. Be brave. And if you don't feel brave, fake it till you make it. Seriously, fake it. You do not ever want to show your belly to the trans right activists. You never want to show them weakness. You never want to show them that you're scared, because they will go for the jugular.
Shocking video shows the moment transgender right activists ambush a women's rights rally in Tacoma, Washington. One counter-protester seen here trying to shove a speaker. Another attack at the rally reportedly left a victim with 2 broken fingers. Kellie-Jay Keen attended the rally and joins me now. Wow. So it sounded like things got violent. First of all, what was the purpose of this rally? And then describe a little bit more about what ended up happening.
Well, the purpose is to literally let women speak, because, I mean, now Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, maybe it's not so bad, but women are being silenced all through tech, so we're taking our voices back to the public square. I mean, many of those women attended, they've lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihoods, they might have lost their children to this pernicious cult of transgenderism, and they just want to talk about it.
So were there men, Kellie-Jay, in the group of people that were attacking you?
Yeah, I mean, it's overtly populated by quite misogynist, violent men, but also there's a lot of young women singing their praises and being really, really hateful. But the violence often comes from men, and April got her fingers crushed by a man's bare hands. You know, he literally got her hand in his and crushed it and broke her fingers.
For the trans activists that watch his channel, on your head be it if you encourage violent men to come and assault women, because you know that if you post it on Twitter, you know, absolutely categorically know now that some of those people in opposition to us will break our bones and think nothing of it. I thought you had freedom of speech. Now, it seems that your police won't protect that freedom of speech. We absolutely need security. So just for 2 armed security guards, it's $1,000. That's how much this is costing. That's how much Antifa have cost us. I'm not cancelling another city. I'm not preventing another lot of women from speaking. These are women who are living it, who are suffering it, and I will let them speak. And we will create a space in which they can, and with your help, we will ensure that they are as safe as humanly possible. We are leading the fight. It is our broken bodies and our broken hearts and our silent voices that are finally breaking through and winning this war.
And I watched your YouTube last night. I'm a huge fan of you and your channel. You spoke a little bit about how your perspective of America has shifted since you've been here. Can you speak on that for a second?
It's just the free speech element. I mean, I knew because hate speech and because big corporations are inflicting sort of hate speech rules and compelled speech on their members of staff. So I knew it was kind of under threat and dodgy. But seeing that the police, the only thing they'll do is defend your right not to be physically attacked when you're speaking, I just thought that was peculiar, because in the UK, the police will really stand. I mean, they don't do it perfectly by any stretch, but they will make sure that there aren't people right in your face. Yeah. But the American police seemed very reluctant to do anything like that. I've also got communication from the police. I will publish it, but the gist of it is, whilst you have the right to free speech, we won't protect your right to free speech. I feel really bad because I feel like we shouldn't be afraid. And I feel like the public square should be safe for women. But it's been really made very clear that it's not going to be safe. Antifa are bussing in. And I've been told by both locals in Seattle and in Portland that Antifa have killed people and kind of got away with it.
Gosh. So you're standing up for the rights of biological women and were attacked by some men. That sounds like we're going backwards here. Are you getting any support from anybody in Hollywood or any feminists in Washington, D.C.?
Well, feminists have been working really hard. I've got to be fair. Like, radical feminists have been working really hard against this for decades, completely ignored and unnoticed. So, yes, we do get support from feminists. I'm a women's rights campaigner, not a feminist myself. But Hollywood, no. They're totally pushing this dishonest narrative that anybody can choose their biological sex.
Yeah, well, so now biological males are allowed to play in women's sports in some states. And then you had President Biden just support children being able to use hormone blockers. So a lot of parents are concerned out there. Where do you think all of this is going?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty bad already. So in your country, unlike my own, I'm from the UK, little girls as young as 13 can have double mastectomies if they say they're boys. I mean, this is, I don't know how much worse it can get. You've got male rapists in women's prisons. So I think people across the country have got to wake up pretty damn quick, join their school boards and start talking about this to anybody and everybody as much as humanly possible to try and stop it, because right now, the broken bodies of children, they cannot be repaired once they start on this journey of puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones and surgeries.
Yeah, and speaking of the UK, you also have J.K. Rowling in the UK speaking out about this very issue, and she has been excoriated for it. So there is a level of courage that requires doing exactly what you and she are doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I often say this to people that talk about this. I'm far more afraid of the things that are happening than I am the consequences to me personally. I mean, you know, literally the profound physical and medical abuse of children. I think that is the most frightening thing, much worse than, and lots of things have happened to me. I've been interviewed by the British police for saying that we shouldn't transition children. I've been arrested. I've had the police at my door for saying that I was being untoward about paedophiles, or pedophiles, as you might say over here. But yeah, staying silent is really not an option anymore. I would be much more afraid of doing that.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents, Kellie-Jay, would agree with you there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know, you get to a point where you just can't keep letting people kick you around, and there's women that are actually dying for their rights.
Absolutely.
And it's happening right now.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're amazing, Tanya. And
it's very hot out
man
there.
is right behind you with that great sign supporting you, standing behind
that's
you.
my old man.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much. That's Wombs with a View.
Yes, Wombs with a View on Make More Noise. We film every Thursday and we drop it on Friday, but everything's been so crazy, so we haven't done anything for the last 2 weeks. But, you know, check it out. Yeah.
So, yeah, say true things, be brave, and fake it even if you're not brave. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for talking to me. And you've been fighting this fight long, long before many, many would. Have you seen a shift that makes you hopeful?
Well, I think more women are speaking up, but with, you know, every step forward, you then come across the brick wall of corporate or institutional capture. But, you know, there's going to be a critical mass of women soon, or people in general, that are just not having any of it. And once enough of us are talking about it and not afraid, game over, really.
And what would be something you want to send people off with, a message you'd like to say?
I think just speak. You should be more afraid of staying silent at this point. You know, wherever you are in the United States, within 50 miles there's a girl having her breast removed. Whatever calendar day of the year, as long as it's a working day, there will be a girl having her breast removed within, 50 miles of wherever you are in the country. You should be more afraid of that than speaking up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so very much for giving me time to speak to you and for coming to the U.S. and doing this tour. So
You're very welcome. Thanks.
I'm not a vet, but I know what a dog is. Boom.